Stakeholders from the civil society, academia, and grassroots are calling on architects, housing rights advocates, and developers to propose innovative, practical solutions to convert Lagos's neglected public spaces into safe, inclusive, and affordable housing. As Lagos faces growing pressures of urbanization and housing demand, this conversation offers a timely and critical space for dialogue, innovation, and action. Now, to further discuss this, I'm joined by Deji Akinpelu, environmental advocate. Thank you so much for joining us in the studio, Deji.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. Now, can you speak to us on the risks and rewards, of transforming abandoned public spaces into housing projects in densely populated cities like Lagos?
Oh, yeah. I think the conversation around converting abandoned public buildings into low-income housing residents come with a whole lot of benefits. Considering the fact that we have a large population of low-income groups that are struggling with challenges of finding affordable housing within the city. Urbanization, as we know it, increased the activities within every city. And for instance, you find people traveling long distances to work, etc. But using a former federal secretariat Ikoyi as an example, converting such into low-income housing for the urban poor provides them the opportunity to probably to be more closer to where they work. So take, for instance, drivers, artisans, providing the necessary services to the community that they find themselves, like the Ikoyi community. So it reduces travel time, for instance. You will know about the plight of some low-income groups of maybe people who are drivers who have to travel several miles from outside Lagos down to VI to... so it's that urban tension that you have is one of the opportunities that you begin to receive from here. It also comes with the opportunity of being able to implement sustainable environmental practices. Take, for instance, greenhouse farming can go on in that space and begin to do farm to table. From that same space that you are seeing, facilities can be developed and put in place to begin to practice greenhouse farming and do farm to table to the neighborhood. So people can walk into such a facility. There are days, there are times that local trading can be done of foodstuff, materials, etc. can be done and begin to service the community around it. Part of meeting up with that environmental challenge is us thinking in a very sustainable manner.
All right, now speaking of the challenge, now you talked about, Ikoyi, but how do how can sustainable design principles like these, be integrated into low-cost housing solutions?
Yeah, very easy, very, very easy, and very, the ideas in terms of, take for instance, rainwater harvesting, that is the practice of saving water. Low-income housing design conveniently would accommodate this. So in a situation whereby within the structure is already designed in such a way to harvest rainwater for use. For low-income housing design, this is something that is easily adoptable by the users. We are talking about, even still looking at that same structure, ventilation. It can be designed in such a way that easy ventilation, cross ventilation can happen within the apartment. Reducing the use of things like AC and all of that. Even again, back to farming practices. These are things that are so easily integratable that low-income households are already put into use. Take, for instance, shared facilities. It is only the big guys who don't want to use shared facilities. But shared facilities will maximize the use of space. So common kitchen facilities being used by this group of people. So this is, we trying to think outside the box when we talk about housing provision for low-income groups, or as against what we have in the present day public housing projects that we see, maybe like lag homes in terms of design. those designs don't put into cognizance all of these things that low-income groups can really catch up on.
All right, now speaking of that, how can Lagos strike a balance between some of these luxury housing development and also urgent housing needs for these low-income groups?
Yeah. So luxury housing is not a competition. Luxury housing and low-income housing shouldn't be in competition. They should be complementary. So where you have your luxury housing existing, it is also good for you to have low-income housing or middle-income housing also coexist in the same vicinity, because it's an exchange. You understand? So we have to have that balance. The only problem we have now is that every billboard that you see in the city advertising is called affordable luxury, affordable luxury, affordable luxury. So who is going to build for the urban poor? Or are you saying that there's no need for us to create access to this group of people, as if we're not going to need their services, or as if there's nothing they have to contribute to the city? We have to find that balance, and we have to find a way to support each other. So take, for instance, I tell people that I don't have a problem with somebody buying land in Eco Atlantic, but what initiative is the government taking to taking funds from a house purchased from Eco Atlantic to fund social housing or low-income housing? So it's a cross-funding thing. So if you take a certain percentage of whatever somebody is paying, 0.1%, and you do a luxury property tax to finance social housing, to put up that same structure into place for low-income groups to be able to work and live there. So we need to begin to think critically also for the low-income groups, and how we can put in the necessary financing to make that happen.
Well, thank you so much, Deji, for your time and for speaking on this.
Thank you so much for having me.